Welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to look at how to set the diagnostic settings so that our metrics and logs are written to the Log Analytics workspace. So in order to do that, first we need to have a Log Analytics workspace. So let's create that. Come to the top and click Create Resource and look for Log Analytics. So this is the Log Analytics workspace we want to create. Click Create on that one and pick a resource group. So that goes into COVID Reporting Project RG, and I'm going to call this one as LA COVID Reporting WS. And it's going to be in my East US region. And click Next Tags. We will leave it blank. So let's click through to Next and Review plus Create. It is validating. So the validations pass. Click Create to create the workspace. So that's now being deployed. The deployment's now complete. So let's go back into our dashboard and pick our data factory. So that is the COVID reporting project, and that's our data factory. So go into the diagnostic settings. Last time we did it from an Azure monitor, but this is another option you can do. And then we can go into edit the settings on the diagnostics we set up in the last lesson. And now you can send to Log Analytics workspace as well. So this is what you want to click and subscriptions that. And it's already picked up the Log Analytics workspace that we've created. And you've got two options. So one is the Azure Diagnostics and the other one is the Resource Specific. So we want the Resource Specific because the Azure Diagnostics option puts everything into one table. And depending on which metric you're looking at, you've got to look at specific columns. That is quite annoying when you come to query the data. But Resource Specific will create separate tables for each of the metrics and each of the logs. And it's quite nicer to query the database. So let's pick Resource Specific and click Save. And like we did last time, we are going to rerun our trigger so that some of the data gets pushed into Log Analytics. Let's rerun this trigger one more time. Okay, the trigger in the pipeline has now finished completion. So let's go back to our Azure portal and let's find the Log Analytics workspace that we created. We didn't pin that into our dashboard. So let's go to All Resources and then click on the type. And let's look for the Log Analytics workspace. So Log Analytics. So we only have one Log Analytics workspace, so it's quite easy to find. So that is the one we created. Let's pin this before we forget about it so that it's there on the COVID Reporting Project dashboard when we need it next time. So that's been pinned. So this is your Log Analytics workspace and all the data comes here and you've got the option to go and query the logs. So under General, you can find the logs here. So if you click on that one and then click Get Started. So it gives you lots of useful queries and things like that. But let's close all of this for now. And as you can see, you got the Log Analytics workspace with these tables already. So you got the activity run pipeline run trigger and then you got alerts and some more usage information within those things. In order to query these tables, you would have to use the language called Kusto Query Language, which is quite powerful. It's quite easy to pick up if you already know some query language like SQL as an example. There's quite a lot of help available within the Microsoft website. So let's go and find that. I'll put you in the right direction there. So if you just switch for Kusto Query Language, you'll find that. So if you click on this link, it should take you there. So that tells you how to get started with Kusto, and then you've got the tutorial which tells you how to query tables, and it gives you everything you need basically. So for example, if you want to query a table and get the total number of records, then you would do the count. And if you want to do where clauses and things like that, this is kind of how you would go about doing that. And you can project the data into separate columns here as well. In this case, that's how you do that. Let's go and do a couple of those. So say for example, we want to query our trigger run table and then we want to count the number of records you would have to do count in here. And then if you click run it should tell you there are 3 records. So let's see what those 3 records are. You just have to put the table name and hit run. It should run. And as you can see here, we've had the trigger come in, waiting, and then you've got it running, and then it succeeded. So it takes the information, it's a snapshot of the status at every point in time. It's kind of like a telemetry being pushed into log analytics. And you can query this data, you can summarize, you can join all of these tables as well. So I'll show you some more help. So if I go and query for join, search for join. So as you can see here, if you want to join your triggers with pipeline runs, then you would do a join like this. And there is enough help here for you to be able to get up and running. And the good thing with these things is you got one log analytics workspace now. With our data factory being hooked up to, you can hook this up to any number of data factories and all of the log information would come in here. And when you query the idea of trigger run, it's going to give you all of those in one go. So you can report across multiple data factories. Unlike within the data factory, you're only seeing that data factory information. Also, log analytics gives you a lot more capabilities. So you can create your own visualizations and pin them into your dashboards if you wanted to. Or you can create workbooks as well within log analytics and have your dashboards. And this is what I wanted to show you in this session. So on this note, I am stopping here. See you in the next session. So I'll see you then.